Welcome to part 2 of our coverage of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. On the previous stream that we did of this game, we covered pretty much the entirety of the special episode DLC chapter that is exclusive to Nintendo Switch. As you can see, apart from the speedrun time benchmarks, we did complete 100% of everything with one exception. And that exception is going to be our first task today. It's going to be the hard mode objective in the final level, Chaos in the Grand Labyrinth, which we previously cleared on our first attempt in the sort of standard mode, I guess. But we're going to chase that last checkmark now, where you have to clear the entirety of the level with the Toad Brigade being escorted all the way to the 30th and final zone. So we'll show off how this is going to work here. I'm going to be traversing a maze that is 30 levels deep. At levels 10, 15, and 20, we're going to pick up one of the Toad companions, and the idea is that we need to survive with all of them in tow while being chased by a mummy-me, or the equivalent of a cosmic clone. So I don't know how many attempts this is going to take me today, and how much of a grind it's going to be. The clear that we got on this level when we just played it the standard way was about 15 minutes in length, and so that's roughly what you can expect for a successful attempt. So we'll see how many unsuccessful attempts we have to push through first in order to get there. Hopefully we'll be able to do it this stream, but I make absolutely no promises. So let's see if we can clear it with the whole train of toads in tow. So, first 10 levels or so are just going to be the same as always. We just need to really avoid taking a hit and eventually make it to the first escort. Have to get a little warmed up here. The idea is that I do need to pluck this guy who's moving around because he will give me the warp block that will ultimately be my exit. Spending way too long on this in level 1. We previously had no trouble with it. Anyway, I do need to maintain a constant sense of motion here, just to avoid any issues with the mummy-me. Now, these tight circles that I'm making to circle around, that's not a strategy I will be able to rely on in the long run when we have the full escort going on. So yeah, no need to worry too much about things like the coins. That's really going to be extraneous to our purpose for now. There is no coin requirement for this level, unlike the original Mummy-Me Maze Forever. So yeah, level 5, nothing too special yet, just a bunch of coins. I'm not going to fuss around with that too much. It's nice to know that we are able to grab mushrooms, but the difficulty, as we will see, is in the fact that when we collect the rest of the Toad Brigade, each of the members of the brigade is only allowed to take one hit, whether we have the mushroom or not. And so some of the pathing is potentially going to be quite challenging. But in the meantime, we're not going to worry too much about coin collection. We'll just push on and try to get to level 10 as soon as we can, just to get this stuff out of the way. Once we get to 10, we'll have to remember to actually pick up the Toad for the escort. I did, in fact, forget one the last time I played this level. Oh, whoops, got hit already. Not a good sign. Now, the Shy Guys just rotate until they see you within their line of sight. And so they are really just best avoided if we run into them in later levels, because otherwise they chase you quite close. Anyway, we have to tag this guy, the green cartographer Toad, and he's going to come along for the journey, so now we need to not lose him. And that's not going to be too much of an issue in this room, because the main thing that we're dealing with is the Magic Koopa projectiles, so we just need to make sure we've got plenty of space and that we don't stall too much. Have to do a nice big loop here to avoid the Mummy-Me potentially colliding with her companion. You can see, given how closely the Mummy Me follows, that by the time you have the full train of all three toads, all four toads, I should say, if you include Captain Toad himself, it's going to be a bit of an issue. It's going to be pretty much a continuous train leading all the way to the clone, and so not much of an opportunity to stop and grab anything without the clone just running into whoever's in the back. Okay, that was devilishly close. Anyway, we are going to get up to 14. And I don't know who to pluck. Okay, taking a hit up front is okay. It's not the worst outcome, but yeah, you can see we lost one already, so I will probably reset on future attempts, but we're just going to take it out anyway, so never mind. Alright, let's not dawdle as long as we did last time on level 1. We do want to get back to it pretty quickly. And what do we got here? We've got this still running around. We'll just try to move into intercept without stalling too much. I am kind of concerned about the slight delay when you get the pluck, because when you have the full train, I kind of feel like the Mummy Me is going to run into whoever is in the back, and that's going to be a bit of a concern. Now, one thing that's nice about these levels so far is that you don't actually need to do too much with the camera control. Quite possibly one thing I'll want to do in later levels is slow down to walking speed, because the clone is just going to stop behind you. Certainly one method that I remember applying in Mario Galaxy 2 when it came to the clone levels is just kind of taking a few steps at a time and just kind of stalling this way. And I found that to be a pretty workable tactic, but we'll see if that is actually going to be acceptable here when we get into the later stages. Alright, let's push on into second segment here. We get into level 6. And that's going to be a hit. Very unfortunate. But we'll just try to get out of here as soon as we can and just make our way over to the refresh point that we know exists at number 10. Now, once we have made it over to that location, we'll see. Seem to be pulling way too many Shy Guys with us. Yeah, I just want to take advantage of this stealth as much as possible and just not activate them if I can help it. Very close call. Far too close. We won't be able to play like that later. Yeah, just activating far too many of them at once. Activating all of them, actually. You need to use some camera control here, I think, in order to track where the warp block guy is going. Hey, Penguin Lord, welcome. So yeah, Penguin Lord, I'm attempting to do the hard mode objective in the final level of the DLC pack that we've been showing off. And so I kind of saved this for last in a previous stream and didn't manage to get it done. Okay, let's see. Going for the hammer, I think, is actually going to be quite beneficial here. Mushroom isn't going to make a big difference given that I am at level 10, and we know that there's a refresh point here anyway. Now here's where it gets tricky, is when we have to escort the cartographer with us. Okay. Avoid projectiles, get the plug, do a long loop around just to get out of the way. As soon as I'm in warp block, I'm pretty much safe. Let's round a bend here and just try to do a bit of a circle just to get out of the way of the Mummy Me. Yeah, part of the challenge here is just to spot the circuit that is traced by the warp block as soon as we can. we can get the circuit. If we can follow that pattern, then we're in business. But you need to keep up the constant motion here just to get out of the way. Let's do one additional loop. Try to do it safely and hopefully eventually get up to number 15. You do not need the gold mushroom. The gold mushroom is just worth 50 coins if you're going for coin collection. I'm not currently going for the high score. I'm just going for the bonus objective of keeping all of the toads alive. So you can get a train that goes up to 4. I have not actually been able to do that yet. And you see, yeah, it died. So yeah, my first guy got zapped already. We'll probably do a reset, but I feel like I do need to do at least one practice run through the later levels so I know how the escort is going to go, and so we're not caught off guard. So yeah, as you can see, gold mushroom is only 50 coins. There are other levels in this game where the gold mushroom is necessary to get a bonus objective, but this is not one of them. So as you can see, the challenge here is going to be if you activate the flying guys by mistake, they're going to drop down towards you, and if they drop, you run the risk of them crushing the other toads that are further back in your train. So yeah, I'm already not going to make the objective, but I am going to practice this just so I know how the escort pattern is going to work against some of the later enemies, because right now there are a few specific things that worry me. Yeah, like that. Oh, there you go. Just took the hit and I ran my companion into him. So as you can see, this is not going to be easy. So yeah, we'll try to map out the rest of this anyway, because I need to figure out what my pattern will be in the bullet bill segment that's going to come just a little later. As you can see, very narrow passageways here. And still have not discovered the warp block. Hammer is going to be extremely useful, because then at least you can clear some space. So yeah, as you can see here, we'll grab the final companion that appears at level 20. Even though we have already failed the objective this round, I do want to practice rooms 20 to 30 just to see what we need to deal with. I have seen these rooms before without successfully escorting the toads. But the challenge now is to figure out what is going to get in the way of keeping the toads alive. As you can see, some narrow passages here. I'm not going to have too much room to double back, so I'll need to do a full loop. And just try not to run into anything. So yeah, this segment is actually not too bad. I'm much more... Whoa. Yeah, oh. Spoke too soon. Much more worried about the bullet segments that are going to come later. So we might as well map this out at least once, just to see. I mean, it was a bit of effort just to get out of here alive with one toad the first time. Like I said, in later attempts, just for the sake of brevity, I am likely to just reset directly, but I do need a bit of a reminder of what is coming between rooms 20 and 30. And, oh, yeah, gotta watch out. Yeah, because I believe 25 is going to be a refresh point that does not give you an additional toad. Oh, whoops, not hit. No. Can't just double back directly like that when the clone is spawning behind me. Alright, back to start. Yeah, don't know how we're going to play around a stall. Probably just with this walking pattern. But when I have multiple toads in tow, I kind of think they're not going to stand close enough for me to do so. Especially when I have to train to maximum length. I kind of get the sense that the clone is just going to be hugging me much too closely. We need to get out of trouble, though. Going stepwise is not a bad idea. Yeah, I think sometimes you just need to monitor the pattern of where the moving target is going. And okay, let's see how we do here. Just about to get to level 5, which is nothing yet. We Don't get the first toad until 10. So yeah, no need to fuss around with coins and mushrooms. We can just go directly. In fact, going directly is a very good idea because I see that the hammer is actually going to persist between rooms, and so we should, in fact, always, when we get the hammer at the refresh stops, take the hammer directly into the next zone just to make the room after the rest stop much easier. So that's a little bit of a tactical change that we'll have to keep in mind. That when we grab the toads at rooms 10, 15, and 25, I'm going to save the hammer for last, so we can exit directly with the hammer and have as much uptime as we can. So that will be the method. And it's only really going to save me for one room, but sometimes that can make a huge difference in terms of really easing up on everything that's going to come afterwards. Shy guys all over the place here. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So yeah, here's the first test of what we're going to do. It's going to be number 10. I'm going to tag him, and then I'm going to go straight to the warp block. And then we're just going to plow right through. And not run into the blocks once the hammer expires. That would be rather important in its own right. Okay, going to be a bit of a complicated circuit from this guy here. We need to not get zapped by the Magic Koopas. This is not too bad with only one toad, but I have been consistently losing that toad, so I should not speak too soon. We have yet to survive with that all the way to 15, which we'll need to do, so just need to keep a nice healthy distance from the Magic Koopas and not get sniped. Okay. We can never double back anywhere because that will run into trouble with the clone. Now, if we can get up to 15 without taking a hit, we're in good shape. In fact, oh, no. I was thinking of just going for the hammer, and then for this, but then because room 15 is next, we were going to get the hammer anyway, so that wasn't actually going to be that beneficial. So I was thinking of doubling back to the hammer, and that's how I made that mistake. For the sake of time, let's get right back to the start. Yeah, so still haven't managed to survive with the green toad up to level 15 just yet. We'll need to do that. Quite close there, just one mistake at the very end. That was perfectly avoidable. And yeah, can't double back so tightly. Need to do a little bit of a loop-to-loop at the very end, just in order to create enough space. Okay, that's all fine so far. Same deal, we'll just plow right ahead. Pop as many Shy Guys as I can, in fact, just to make sure we don't get ambushed. Yeah, not making enough use of the mechanic to avoid the Shy Guys when they kind of look at you and spot you in the distance. Alright, almost at number 10. That's what we're gunning for here. So yeah, we'll see how bad this challenge actually is, in terms of how many attempts it will take me and how long it takes. Maybe one of those that's just, you know, is kind of deceptive when it comes to difficulty, simply because of how long the attempts are going to run as you get better and better at the level. Yeah, let's go for the warp block right away. Waste no time on that whatsoever. Do a full circuit, just to create some space. Just keep a healthy distance from the Magic Koopa. As we punch our way in. Whoa, close call there. I nearly got sapped. Close call there, too. Yeah, to the extent that we use the camera tilt, it will, I think, primarily be to track the progress of where the block is going. Got to do a full circuit here just to create enough space. That was awfully close. Okay, so now we just need to grab the correct one. Having the hammer available will be useful in that at least we don't have issues with stalling with the block. And then we can kind of punch our way through as well, just to make sure we get the warp block. And okay, so for the first time, we're going to survive all the way to 15 with the train of 2. So here's where it gets tricky. Or trickier, I suppose. Oh, should have remembered to go straight into the next room, into 16 with the hammer, just to punch out as much as we can without dealing with these guys, because the flight pattern really needs to be avoided completely. Even letting one of those guys stomp is going to get me into some pretty major trouble. Yeah, very close. Just gonna try to loop around in such a way that will let me intercept. Oh, no. Nope, it's gonna dodge me at the last minute. Every time. I kind of wonder if that is going to take a regular pattern. Nope. Wow, both of them got killed. Yeah, I gotta be careful there when I take a hit like that. I can't just continue running into the enemy because I may have some damage frames, but my companions don't. And so I just lost them both in one go there. So that's something we'll need to adjust for. So the record so far is going to be number 17 with 2 in tow. Let's do it again. So yeah, you can probably see why I decided that this would likely need a stream all to itself as a challenge. It is a significant bump in difficulty over just the standard clear. Okay, here we go. Nope, getting stuck around corners. Bad idea. Yeah, I need to understand the travel patterns of these guys a little bit better. Okay, that's going to get me to warp block. Let's just get out as soon as we can. And get into number 6 as soon as we can. Okay. Here we go. There is, as you can see, I believe, some light randomization. I think that might have been the case with Mummy Me Maze Forever originally as well, but we'll see. I mean, I think there are some things that are definitely differing when it comes to block layout and Shy Guy position, unless my memory is just poor. I think it's going to seed the same number of enemies every time, and that's going to be consistent, but we do need to play somewhat improvisationally here, just to survive. Now, I think the life count in this game actually is capped at 99, at least on the display. We'll find out in just a moment because we're going to get past 99 coins. And I haven't actually seen my life count exceed 99, so I believe... Yeah, that's the case. You stay at 99 lives. Get into the next level if you can. Doubling back like that was a dangerous idea. I only got away with that because the clone had not spawned at that time. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm going to do with that delay that happens when you activate the pluck in the later levels when you have the full train, because I really feel like I just don't have enough room to work with when it comes to the space I have away from the clone. Given that I am going to be stalling just a little bit, I think I need to stall the clone itself, in fact, to do that. Like this. I think that pattern still works. Okay, still not getting the correct one. Oh, we've got the warp block already. Let's just go for that. Okay, getting a little better in that this is our second time actually getting to number 15. With green toad still alive. This time let's remember to push in directly. And just get out of here as soon as I can. Did I lose a toad? Yes, I lost yellow. Okay, that's unfortunate. Lost green. These guys are going to be an absolute pain. So, same kind of benchmark as before. I managed to get up to 3 toads, but not much further. But yeah, the flying guys are going to be a bit of an obstacle. Especially with all those corners we have to turn. I'm going to pay attention here to see if I was actually correct about there being some level of randomization, or if it is in fact going to be consistent. I don't think I know the layouts well enough to say at this point. They do kind of blend together as you go from run to run. But we'll see if we can get out of this situation here. Get to number 6. Okay, that was dangerous. Bad idea once we get to playing this thing out properly. Yeah, using my camera to track the target is something that I'm not doing enough of. When it disappears around walls, wow, too close. That's the kind of thing that's not going to fly when we actually develop the train. Okay. Let's see how much else we can do to just juke around all this and hopefully not run into too many complications. Nope. And forgetting here that these shy guys do not follow the mummy me logic of following the path. They are going to take shortcuts. It would be very unwise to forget that. I do need a mushroom. But other than that, we'll just push into number 11 and see if I can get the warp block right away. Yes, I can. Whoop, took a hit already. Luckily, there is a mushroom awaiting me in this room. Gonna do a quick loop around, and this segment seems to be going a little bit better, at least. In this zone here from 10 to 15. Okay, could be wrong about the presence of some kind of randomization, I think. So it might actually just be deterministic after all. Okay, crew member number 3. Now this zone here is about as far as my good attempts have gotten. Okay. Number 17 would alter relive. Whoa, 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 whoa. These guys flying in really close. Okay. That kind of method is not going to fly when I get into later rooms. Okay, 18 would alter relive. This is a somewhat significant breakthrough. Get out of here right away. Okay. Alright, this is something I need to keep in mind, that having the hammer makes me invincible. It does not make the other toads in a brigade invincible, and that's how I lost one there. That I was assuming that having the hammer would just allow me to ram into everything. But the issue with that was exactly how I lost Yellow Toad. Okay, just going to do a bit of a scouting effort here, because I feel I need to do so. I did already lose the objective this time, of course. This was my best attempt yet, though, in terms of getting that far with 2 toads still alive all the way to number 19. As you can see, I already lost both green and yellow, and so yeah, this attempt will be a bust, but let's push forward just this once so I can remind myself of what challenges come later. There are going to be the Bill Blasters, but I'm wondering if there's something else I may be forgetting. But yeah, we'll just try to, whoops, I was about to say try to circle around, but too long a tail there on that pathway, and so, yeah, this is just going to be a disaster. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that if I do have the mushroom, one thing I could potentially do is just deliberately run into the mummy me myself. Because it does momentarily disappear when I do so, so if I needed to have it avoid any of the toads in a tight spot, I can run into the clone myself, I think, and essentially tank a hit to buy myself a window of opportunity. So, as you can see, no rest stop at 25, it's just going to go continuously through the final 10. And yeah, we'll just run this to see if I understand it. As you can see, nice straight lines here are going to be essential. And also trying to get out of spots like this before blasters are fully underway. So if I kind of just get out of their firing range as soon as possible, so we don't have to deal with them, that's going to be best. But as you can see, there is a little bit of time pressure here, because as they destroy blocks, they will have a lot more maneuverability. And yeah, that's the kind of thing that's not going to fly when we do this level properly. So anyway, that is going to be it. But as I said before, well, first of all, this is not even going to be close to the record we had set previously, and secondly, we still have to actually survive with the entire crew. So this was just a bit of a training attempt to see what kind of issues we might potentially be dealing with when it comes to the Toad survival in floors 20 through 30. And being at 99 lives already, we're not really going to benefit from finishing this out. So I will be canceling and restarting on future attempts when we get to situations like that, but I did need the initial practice. Anyway, we are going to skip the credit sequence quickly and just get right back in. That's another reason to not just close out a level every time. We just want to get right back into it straight away. So let's see if we can clear it with all the brigade. Interestingly enough, the date stamp on a given level shows your date last played. It did in fact overwrite the date of the first stream when we cleared this for the first time. Okay, let's just get out of here as soon as we can. Lots of challenges ahead with keeping all 4 toads alive. I mean, the spacing is only going to get worse to deal with as we get better at this level. Anyway, let's push on directly. Just beeline straight for this guy. Don't want to deal with anything. Avoid the shy guys if we can, I think. Ooh, doubling back like that, not smart. Seen that mistake too many times already. I should just stay out of the way of the shy guys entirely, I think, just to make sure we don't run into issues with stealth. And then just going to observe the pattern over here until we find a safe window of opportunity. Yeah, there's a little bit of random variance to it, I think, when it comes to the way that the mole is going to snake around in intersections. So yeah, we'll just try to get back there and see how we do. Whoa, this guy activating at the last minute here. But yeah, definitely one skill set we'll need to work on is just how to tank damage as Captain Toad without running my companions into trouble, because I have had a couple of run-ending moments that really shook out about the same way. Not enough space to work with, and we'll just have to play around it. We'll just keep an eye on the pattern of where our exit is going to go. Yeah, doubling back far too tightly for anything to be safe. Yeah, it does seem like there is a bit of a random element to how moles travel, and given a fork, whether they take one side of the fork or the other. Okay, we've got to be careful here. Remember that the hammer does not make the brigade invisible. That's the mistake we've been making so far. Now let's push through. Yeah, just gonna get out of here as soon as I can. And okay, let's get out of here quickly before anything stomps on me. Yeah, I think stalling around the corners and remaining in a position of safety until such time as we can head out and grab something is in fact the strategy here. We just need to avoid the playing field entirely until we have the right moment to strike. Unfortunately, that method is not going to work as well for segments like this one here. Oh, yeah, one, and the whole thing just went kaput at once. As you can see, single stop there, and we just ran all 3 toads into it. That was a massive problem. So once again, best attempt so far is 3 toads at 19. Really just one step away from getting the full train, starting at level 20. Alright, let's do it again. I really feel like I'm not particularly close. I think there's quite a lot left to learn and master. So I'm very uncertain that this will be something that actually will be doable today. But we'll learn it. And just develop better methods for everything all around. Yeah. Yeah, the layouts are consistent, but there is an element of RNG, I think, to the movement pattern that we're dealing with. I don't think it's going to be on a predictable circuit. I think there is maybe a bit of a coin flip as the warp block mole decides to round one bend or the other. Okay, no issues yet. Close call there. Too many close calls, I would say. Too many things I will not get away with when I am escorting the full party, or even a partial party. So yeah, just gonna circle around and see how we do. Take the hammer immediately, but we'll have a refresh on it anyway. Okay, once again, going to try to short circuit the Magic Koopa sequence here just by using the hammer. You're only going to get to do that so many times, though, before future levels come back and get you. Okay, that's going to get popped open. Yeah, just pluck everything at once if we can, and yeah, so 10 to 15 is not really going too badly. $15 to $20, by the time we get to level 19, we definitely run into some issues. I forgot to make enough use of gunning straight for the exit with my hammer. Oh, missed that. Let's just circle around a corner here until we have an opportunity. Since this is mostly safe until one guy flies over, and then after that is no longer safe. So yeah, just going to run around a bit. See if we can get a nice wide berth here. That's going to get me to 17. Okay, so far so good. We need to get away from that guy. And in general, just not activate any of the flying stops if I can. Nope. We activated a flying stop. Exactly on cue when I said we should avoid that, so. Yeah, getting into the 15 to 20 zone somewhat consistently, but that's not good enough. Have to be very, very consistent, and even so, after that, we'll need to learn 20 to 30, which is going to be a potential mess. Something that will bring lots and lots of resets down upon our head. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Wait that. And yeah, it's just going to run around. We'll let it do its job. And then see what happens when it comes over. Yeah, we can find a really good consistent pattern, that would be great, but I think to a certain extent, the RNG element of the mole movement is going to thwart any attempts to understand this really systematically. So yeah, gotta push. Okay, doing alright so far. You do, in fact, get to nuke the mummy with the hammer. That's a very important thing we'll need to remember for later when we are trying to create more space for companions I have in tow. And yeah, so far, whoa, getting trapped like crazy. And we'll see what we can do here to activate what I'm looking for. Okay, first companion. Let's go. Okay, skip match Koopas if I can. Let's try to, whoa, get over there if I can, but having taken one hit on Captain Toad already is not a good sign this early in this block. I mean, there will be mushrooms ahead, but possibly not soon enough to make things work. Luckily, I didn't lose my green companion. The more important thing at this stage is I'm allowed to take a hit. They cannot, and so should be prioritizing those needs if we can. Okay, back to a train of 3. Let's see if we can get this going. Once again, I'm going to go beeline straight for the block just to avoid any issues. Whoa, that's going to be an issue. Oh, almost. Very narrow escape there. Oh, missed the opportunity to pluck. Once again, another really close call. I didn't really see that stomp coming, and that could have run an ender for sure. Now, let's see if we can get this guy to loop its way down. Don't have an accurate understanding of the movement pattern just yet, and so we're going to run into a problem once again. So yeah, still haven't been able to break into level 20 just yet without running into trouble at the very last minute. Well, let's just collect our solids, and one came in. There are 30 floors in this one. It's pretty easy to just get to 30 floors and beat it, but we're trying to do the hard objective, the optional objective, which is to survive with all of the Toad companions still alive. And I have not been able to do that yet. I have not been able to keep any of them alive, in fact. So the companions come in at level 10, 15, and 20. And then you need to survive all the way from level 20 to 30 with all of them parading behind you. So yeah, in terms of the standard clear up to level 30, I one-shot that when I tried it on the Monday to Tuesday stream. It was not hard at all, especially compared to the original final level of Captain Toad, which goes to level 50 and requires a great deal more camera control. This level doesn't really do much with camera, thankfully. Makes it significantly easier that you're not correcting for perspective. Although, of course, managing the camera is one of the core skill sets of this entire game. I mean, this is a game that's substantially about camera trickery. That's at the heart of many of the level concepts you see on display. Let's see what we can catch. Whoa, man. Get into major trouble here. Okay, intercept, and let's do the loop around. Really quite an activation range on those Shy Guys when they are hunting around for you. Not easy to stealth around them at all. Because they've got a huge conal range of vision. Even if their behavior that is activated by the stealth detection is nothing too out of the ordinary. Anyway, gonna pop everything I can without taking damage, hopefully. Yeah, gonna tag this guy. He's gonna be companion number 1. Okay, gonna go straight for the middle. Whoa! Ah, nope, lost that. Was trying to loop around to dodge the mummy me, and that turned out to be totally counterproductive. Should have just done a nice long arc. We cannot do small circles once the clone is out. To do nice large circuits, and that's something I have to remember. Okay. This is going to be fine so far. And yeah, we'll just try to make it all the way through. Mang, welcome. So yeah, not too much success so far. Best we've done with the objective still alive is level 19, I believe. Okay. Yeah, breaking through into level 20 with everybody still alive is still a very elusive challenge here. Whoa. Let's give him a nice wide arc. Not quite as wide as I'd hoped, but yeah, there are definitely certain methods that we need to get developed as we get into the segment with the flying ground stomp enemies that come shortly after. Whoa, did miss the block. That's not something I should be doing. Okay, going to loop around here and try to avoid the Shy Guys and just try to get as much as I can while I'm able to. Having a hammer, of course, means we'll just gun it. Let's be careful about just backing up like that once we have our companions. Okay. Let's push. Alright, so far so good. Well, no, let's not miss the block. Nice wide arcs. We'll just do a nice wide loop. Take it all the way around a circle. Okay. So far so good. Now, number 14 is going to be tricky because there are so many decoys all over the map. If we can get the hammer out early, that will be very beneficial as long as we remember not to take a death. Okay, 15 as before. Now here comes the roadblock, the zone from 15 to 20, which we've been having a lot of trouble with. Okay. Everyone's still alive so far. Oh, missed it. Missed my golden opportunity. That's okay, we've got another one. Ah, nope, got stopped. Really have to watch those shadows. So yeah, we'll see if we can even get this done this stream. It may take a while to learn. The original final level, that Mummy Me Maze Forever, also took me hours. So we'll see if we can get this done. One thing I do want to do later, maybe whether we finish this or not, is also look at some of the Super Mario Odyssey levels that were added to the Switch version of this game. That's something I've not seen before, so that'll be a series of puzzles that's, well, much more puzzly, I would assume, whereas this is actually here based on one of the bonus mini-games. The whole concept of being chased around by a clone is one of the bonus games in the main Captain Toad campaign. And the fact that they developed a whole concept for a game within a game just based on the bonus room, I think is a testament to just how powerful that concept is when it comes to making use of what Captain Toad has to offer. But we'll try to get back on track. Could be rather tricky, could take quite a long time. But it's kind of expected when we do this kind of thing, and play levels that specifically have really punishing resets. And just see if we can develop a good method here. So far, still too many variables that are uncontrolled when it comes to managing my own pattern and also figuring out the mole pattern for nice coherent explainers. Okay, going to refresh pickaxe. Yeah, camera control is something I'm not using nearly enough. Part of the issue, of course, is that the dash button is on a face button and camera is bound to the right stick, although camera movement can also be activated with the L and R buttons. It's just that it moves very quickly. It just kind of snaps into place, which I just want a nice subtle movement. It's not what we want, especially if I need to adjust my angle, camera height. Don't need to be dashing all the time like we're doing, though. It might, in some cases, be better if we don't. But yeah, we'll just take the block and move in. Okay, so far so good. And here's number 15 once again. So here's the segment that has been roadblocked so far, 15 to 20. Specifically, as we get into 18 and 19, things get into trouble. Okay, toads are still alive at least. Let's loop around gently. Getting to 18 should not be an issue as long as I don't... Oh, we lost one. Yeah. Really do need to monitor the flight pattern. I think that sometimes the enemy is off screen, but shadow is on screen, and so it's a bit of a camera height issue on my part, where I'm not viewing them at an appropriate angle that would allow me to predict their movements and get to safety. But again, a bit of a tricky proposition here to adjust the camera while you're also dashing. Now, you don't need to dash, as I said, to get away from the Cosmic Clone. Or mumming me. Fake Toad. Dead Toad, apparently. So we'll just get back there and see if anything will change. Okay. Once again, levels 1 through 10 are essentially just warm-up. Real meat and potatoes comes afterwards once you're actively pursuing the brigade survival objective as you escort the whole troop parade out. Okay. Alright, just gonna loop around, activate all of the Shy Guys, of course, just for style, apparently, and not very intentionally, unfortunately, but... yeah, we'll need to watch that loop around when we are trying to keep the brigade alive while in pickaxe form. Okay, here we are. Okay, gonna pluck this quickly if we can. Whoa, nope. That's a death. Can't really do small circuits like that, even if we miss. Alright, back to start. So yeah, we'll see how rough this turns out to be compared to the original endgame, which I do kind of want to stream as well. Obviously not on the same day as doing this, because that would be absolute madness, but if things don't improve quickly, we may have more Captain Toad streams on the horizon as we try to get this done and try to get it done live. Okay, it's going to be the other guy. Let's punch forward. Okay. Not taking any hits, thankfully. Let's just circle around here in a position of safety until we see what's going on with the pattern here. It's going to be a very useful tactic. Just try to stay alive around some kind of corner loop without activating anything additional that's going to chase you all over the map. Yeah, activating way too many Shy Guys. Partly that's from not using the camera rotation to my advantage and not necessarily seeing where things are going, but we'll try to get up to that and See how it works. Okay, hugging all of this way too tightly. Yeah, but anyway, at this point, first 10 levels are pretty rote. We'll have more interest coming in as we get into some later stages here. Nope, lost one. And once again, I believe that was a Magic Koopa projectile death. So just lured them into the wrong location. Now, I was not planning on this being a really long stream today. We'll try to push on this for a while at least. But it may take a lot more sustained practice before anything can be done with it. Okay. Well, here's fine. And what have we got? Hey, that guy's going to give me the block right away. That's pardon. Maximize hammer or pickaxe uptime, rather. Don't know why I keep thinking of it as hammer when it's clearly a pickaxe. It must be a Donkey Kong habit, perhaps. That very conspicuous mallet. DK is holding back in the original encounter with Mario. Nope, should have gone for the shrubbery over here. Yeah, now I'm going to have to find a block here every time. Okay, stalling a little bit here. As we collect ourselves getting into floor 10. Yeah, you need to be so continuously alert with this that I feel like it is kind of mentally exhausting in a way that is similar to puzzle levels in some respects. Especially those that really test your patience with execution. But so far it's just kind of being attentive to the space and timing things decently. There's no particular trick to it. Nope, that was a snipe. Didn't really even see how Toad died that time. Should have been a projectile, I think. Okay. Well, let's just keep pushing. Does kind of give me the itch to play the original, were it not for the fact that we did a 3D World Champions Road at great length just a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a similar circumstance here, just something that takes me quite a few hours of practice to get down smoothly. Okay, that's gonna be a warp block. We'll take it. I've been resetting so much at this point that a lot of the early levels are kind of beginning to blend together. Part of that, of course, is just the very recognizable warmth of the voice that allows these particular adventures to get away with some stuff early on, at least. Okay. If we need a mental break from this at some point, I may skip to the Odyssey levels directly. So we can actually get to the satisfaction of clearing something today. Whoa, totally got trapped here. And so yeah, let's get back in. Okay. Nudge the camera a little excessively that time. Yeah, we do want to grab this as soon as we can, just to create space. Oh, forgot to grab this guy. Let's do that first. And just avoid the plucking entirely by heading there with the axe still active. Okay. Now we just need to watch this position carefully. See what we can do. And yeah, warp block's gonna come out right away. Let's just go for it. No need to dawdle. Alright, let's push on. And I lost one. Yep, lost one to the stomp. That's the thing I was afraid of when I previewed this level last time and completed it a standard way, that playing around those guys is significantly harder with the bonus objective. Really not even much of a comparison. Okay. So yeah, like I said, record so far is floor 19. It'll be a major breakthrough if we can, in fact, get the full squad of 4 up and running. I was very close to making that happen in some previous game I was playing here. But we'll see. It must be a fairly rare accomplishment. Not something that's populationally tracked, of course, but definitely going to be very stylish for whoever to manage to pull this off. Okay, grab it immediately if we can. Whoa, nope, God. Absolutely smushed in the corner. Yeah, that could have gone so much better. Okay. Back we go. So far, I've been on this level for a little over an hour. That's to be expected. The attempts are all individually going to be quite long. It takes about 15 minutes just to clear the level. Really do have to be on alert the whole time too, which is, like I said, quite a bit more draining than you might expect. Okay. Grab this guy. Let's do it again. Now let's go center so we can bust this open right away. Okay. And yeah, let's get into the next room. See if we can make heads or tails of what is to come. And whether there's anything specific that really characterizes each of those makers themselves. Okay. Now let's see what we can do here. And yeah, still just one alive at this point. That's fine. We need 2 more levels to get into 2 alive. 3 if you include Captain Toad. And yeah, we need to grab this guy. Once again, getting to 15, not really too bad of an issue. We've done it many times already. Getting to 20 with everybody still alive, much, much harder. And if we get to 20, I kind of remember. Or rather, I'm kind of thinking of what the big plays are going to be at that point. Whether you just have a protective barrier here that slowly peters out. Now, let's see what we can do here with RTS to started it all. Whoops, nope, that's gonna be a loss. Yeah, those guys are gonna be tricky. Okay. Let's see if we can make this happen. Just gonna loop all the way back around. Yeah, nudging the camera stick by accident sometimes, that's a bad idea. Okay, everything's gonna be quite deadly here. Just say we can intercept. Get back in position. Not yet. But yeah, first 10 levels are kind of going through the motions, I guess. But there are some interesting things that could happen from time to time. It's sort of miraculous I didn't take a hit there and that I have priority. Is that the number I want? Yeah, that's a good number. Oh, whoops. Really got stuck in the corner there. Really can't afford to do that later on. Okay, actually got a block. Alright, back to number 10. Right now, I will admit this feels like a long ways off from happening, given that we have not made it to 20 even after all this time. At least not with all of the toads intact. Okay. Push here. We can do that. Just try to dodge some of the projectiles while we make this happen. And it is back to number 14. Nope, and I lost one from doubling back. Yeah, this is actually kind of exhausting to grind out consecutively. You have to be attentive and alert to so many things. May just need to compromise with this one and take it over multiple sittings for all I know. I mean, it's entirely possible that these attempts will just not go better after this. Also because I'm playing tired enough here that committing to something that's potentially a long stream may have been a dreadful idea. Hey, we have multiple mushrooms. I just need to not get bitten. Same deal as before. Okay, that's it. And yeah, here we are. I mean, it's very compulsively playable, just something that makes each reset really sting. Especially when you lose for rather silly reasons. But yeah, playing around the aerial enemies in the 15 to 20 zone is, as expected, a major roadblock. Let's recruit. Wrap around nice and gently. Now, where did that go? There we are. Okay. We'll take the block. And that's fine so far. Okay, number 14. And did I lose the guy already? I lost him. Right at the end of this segment. Okay. I'm gonna see if we can get at least one really good attempt to get back into the 15 to 20 zone, which I have not seen in some time. Yeah. In terms of optional objectives that are significantly harder than the base form of the level, this one has to be one of the hardest difficulty bumps. You know, even relative to the content they put into things like the two-player co-op mode in StarCraft. For some reason, I'm thinking about that. Okay, actually do need to get the pluck that I missed completely. Not a big deal to go to the cinema for that. Now, let's see what we can do. There is going to come a point when the commentary, by the way, is going to get less and less coherent. I think we're already starting to reach some of that. We just follow some chains of association instead of actually noting anything that makes sense. Nope. Slipping like crazy. Yeah, we may switch over to the Odyssey content earlier than expected. I was hoping to hold that until after the clear here, but this one feels like a long ways away. I don't know that we'll be able to get a consistent pattern. A lot of it is just improvising accurate spacings. It could help you as a word too, of course. Solaret and its multiple spellings. But my opponent didn't know that. My opponent here being, of course, just a level itself. Never mind any kind of a sense of opposition. Really just got into the habit of talking about my opponent this and my opponent that when it comes to things that actually are head-to-head competition, like the Scrabble streams that we've been running on a regular basis. Okay, let's try to move out. Oh, should have gone to that mushroom at the very end there. This will do. We have a mushroom there because they can only take the best picture so many times as a form of currency. So yeah, Mang, I'll explain to you in just a moment. The idea is that I need to survive a 30-level dungeon, but then at levels 10, 15, and 20, I get a toad companion that I want to escort to the end. The hammer is, or the pickaxe rather, just works the way that it does in Donkey Kong. In classic Donkey Kong, there is in fact a Donkey Kong tribute level in the main game. I'm not allowed to jump or anything. All I can do is dash and move the camera and try to dodge everything. So the idea is that this guy and the two other toads have to remain alive all the way to the end. And I am nowhere close to getting that done. Meanwhile, I need to pluck those guys in order to get the 3D world style warp blocks. And also there's the deadly clone that's following me the whole time. That's a very important complication to keep in mind. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I would imagine that very few people have actually ever completed this. Given that this isn't a DLC content for the game that was not present in the original Wii U version. Okay, I have to remember my escort is not invincible when I grab the pickaxe. Here we are at level 15. So now we add a toad to the train. And there will be one more at level 20. So I'm going to try to keep the train alive, despite all of the aerial enemies who are going to try to stop me. That's going to be tricky if we don't come up with a good position, nice and early. Oh, almost. Okay, I took a hit, but my companions are still alive. That's important. Oh, my companion is no longer alive. I thought I was able to dodge that, but unfortunately I did pull both of them to the path behind me. So once again, that's going to be a death on level 18. Yeah, I would like to make it to level 20. That will be a significant landmark in terms of progress. I have not done it with both companions alive yet. I got very close on one attempt, and then I needlessly took a hit. Alright. Grab this guy into the warp block. And let's get back in here. Yeah, the enemies have some fairly unique behaviors in this game. The blue shy guys, they rotate in place until they see you. So it's possible to stealth around them, and in fact, some levels, in order to get the achievement, you do in fact need to stealth around them. Here it's not a requirement, but it's worth doing if you can because of the way they just chase and crowd you. I haven't been doing a very good job of showing that off in terms of reducing shy guy congestion all over this place. Yeah, I just got mobbed. That was excessively dangerous. So yeah, I do need to block those moving targets in order to get any chance at warp block. Could go for the hammer, but I think it's better to just get out. So only a third of the way there. Yeah, my original ambition was to grind through this whole thing today, but I may be playing a little bit too tired to make a good run, so we'll see. I'll still be running this stream to a reasonable length to at least see perhaps some of the Odyssey content if we did in fact give up on this. If we do choose to give up on this for now. I was hoping to close this out in one stream though, because then we could promptly get back into Mario Maker in the midweek streams next week. Okay. Getting to 15 isn't too bad. It's getting past that level 19 wall that we had the most trouble with. Okay, where we go? Yep, the reason I'm trying to rush forward with pickaxe is because it will... Oh, no, we lost one. Lost one at the tail. But yeah, I mean, you can stop and pluck these, but the pickaxe does graze them immediately, and so we don't lose any time to stalling for a moment. Oops. Absolute bungle over there. Yeah, it's one thing that's going to require quite a bit of patience. Okay. No capacity to take any additional hits. We'll have to remember that. We will get a mushroom in this zone, though. important to refresh that whenever possible. The problem now is that I lost my pickaxe advantage. We'll just get that back very quickly. And through we go. Seems like the main thing the aerial view is useful for is just to keep track of where the moving targets are going. Whoops, ran straight into that guy. That's how you know I'm slipping. Whoa. Awful. Okay, let's try to put in a couple more attempts. Like I was saying, even a successful attempt takes about 15 minutes. It is a long level. Not as long as Mummy Me Maze Forever, but still there's quite a lot that needs to be done to proceed from one room to the next. And it only gets more elaborate as time goes on. I mean, a lot of this is conceptually simple, easy to visualize. Not always the case when you see the arrangement of letters on the board like that. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Yeah, the name of the game here is just survival. One room to the next. Everything else is negotiable. So we'll see what kind of price that sells on. And yeah. Okay, up to 10. Might as well grab this. Get some simplicity and certainty back into this. And we'll push. Okay, still gonna keep one guy alive. We'll see if that can hold. Alright, so far so good. And we'll just need to go for that central position there to get that currency up and running again. Oh, whoops. Wow. Don't know why I just stalled there. It was just a momentary lapse of attention. But... okay, a couple more attempts on this, and then I may have to hold it for the time being, because it is quite challenging. And we're not even 2/3 of the way through on the best attempt so far. Eventually I will need to have some kind of foolproof method, or at least highly reliable method to kind of stay in the game here and not die to anything that we might draw. fine. Yeah, let's push. Okay, so far so good. And yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a test here. Okay, no, we got it. Played this enough, and you can enter a bit of a trance state where you see this in your dreams. That was also true of the original Mummy Me finale level, of course. Okay. Companion number 1 acquired. And yeah, just go the long way around just for safety. Keep nice chasm between us and the Magic Koopas that are trying to zap everything in sight. That's the thing about Magic Koopas is that it's actually kind of unusual to be seeing levels that involve that particular strand of martial arts, I guess. We don't see that done too often. We often see that it does need to be elaborated for those not in the know. Yeah, lots of words that fall into that category. They look familiar, they look like they're probably valid, and you just have a great deal of time actually searching for them. Okay, 14, let's stay focused here, which is one of the more challenging things. It's been actually quite difficult to stay put and understand when this is coming back down to Earth. Well, not anytime soon, but look at that pickaxe. Okay, we can grab a mushroom to refresh damage here. And then we'll get into level 16. Pickaxe is not going to be alive for very long here. No, it's just not going to be alive at all, actually. Okay, let's try to make a breakthrough. It'll be tricky. Yeah, these flying enemies really do smash everything with their bums. Exerting tons of force. Oh, nope. That's a death. Got up to 17. Okay. I think we need to take a break from this. So let's take a little bit of downtime and do something a little slower paced, and we'll swap over to the Odyssey levels. And yeah, originally I was hoping to just really push through this in one stream. I just don't really think it's anywhere close to happening today, so it's going to require quite a bit more learning. So let's switch over to the Odyssey levels. I'm just going to edit my stream title very quickly to reflect that fact. And then we'll head over to the bonus chapter in the standard game. So, in the original bonus chapter to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on Wii U, it begins with a kind of prequel or overlap, I guess, with the earliest levels in World 1 of 3D World. And those were levels that were not particularly elaborate. They were just kind of a chance to hop into the 3D World level geometry as Captain Toad with very little modification. We'll see what happens here, though, with the Super Mario Odyssey Kingdom, which is something that is brand new to the Switch version, and in fact also manipulated the end credits sequence and cutscene in the main game. It's a little different in this game because of the way that it leads into Odyssey instead of 3D World. So it's going to consist of 4 levels here. These 4 are going to be ones in a set, and then yeah, eventually we haven't unlocked it yet, I guess, but the final level, Mummy Me Maze Forever, something I'll eventually want to stream, although that might be a bad idea, but given that even on Wii U originally, that's something that took me hours and hours to clear, and was arguably even harder than the thing that we've been wiping out on for the past 2 hours. So let's take a look at the secret of the inverted pyramid, based on the Sand Kingdom. So yeah, this is going to be back to more of a standard Captain Toad level, but thematically, kind of a condensation of what we have in Odyssey. Is going to have these as clickable platforms, like in the main game. Also, we will have 3 gems to collect, so yeah, definitely a much more full-scale level than the 3D World content that originally existed. Now let's see what I can do to just try to manipulate objects, and yeah, I guess this will eventually be a lift that I take downstairs. Yeah, this is my first time seeing this specifically. Oh, that's interesting that we can take ourselves down like this. And oh, it even has the underground ice cavern like in the actual Odyssey zone. Very nice touch here to refer to the original Sand Kingdom in that way and also allow myself to sneak around the back. Just going to check this quickly to see. There's not much else going on. A lot of Goombas in a Sand Kingdom, of course. Just kind of milling about. This is a much more condensed space, of course, than the original zone, which is really spread out. I'm going to try to fall into this. Oh, I really was hoping that would work. It does work in the main game, I thought. But yeah, we'll be going for that gem down there as soon as I'm able to do so. I'll need to go up the steps and probably dodge the bullet. And we'll get over here. Still don't really know what to do with this guy. Oh, that's how we went down initially? No, it's not. I'll have to think about it. It looks like a very interesting location. Yeah, but then... Whoa, okay. I smacked. Okay, so I kind of put myself back to start. Let's get back into a better position here. We'll need to go forward and back. And we'll just loop around once more. And yeah, this raises me up. So the top gem here is going to be a throw, the one that's up high. We'll need to probably grab the turnip from the central position where we see it growing. This guy here, requires me to probably elevate myself on top of this platform to raise myself up. Yeah, we'll go back and do that, actually. Oh, I can take myself even further down. Or can I? I kind of get the sense that this is death, though. Yeah, so I guess I'm not actually able to go up, given that I fall down into this position, so that's okay. It's possible to wrap around and redo that. Like this. Okay, 2 gems required. This is really interesting. This part here. Ah, I see what's going on. Golden mushroom. And then this guy here, does he take me further down? No, just a lift going up. And am I able? No, here we go. That's correct. Okay. Back we go. No, this is the progression path. And I'll raise myself up top. Still not getting this guy here. I'll need to think about that. So we haven't done anything with that position. Or have I? Difficult to keep track sometimes. Okay, now I need to keep the turnip alive until we throw it in the desired location, which is this. No, I just missed. I am able to go back and get another one, though. It does refresh. It is not limited to one. So, let's go back. And, yep, throw it forward. Nope, just completely missed again. Kind of off angle a bit on a diagonal. So this is a bit of a perceptual issue, I think. Okay, let's just back in order. And whoops, oh, no, fell down again. Getting pretty sloppy. And, oh, okay, didn't realize that there is a checkpoint that takes you all the way up here. Don't want to raise that just yet, though. I do want to finish up this objective. Yeah, that kind of checkpoint placement is completely unlike anything else you see in Captain Toad, in fact. Or maybe we just haven't died enough to have seen checkpoints in this game, because I have had maybe a small handful of levels that had a fair bit of death, but not very many at all. I mean, most of this game is a fairly calm, puzzling experience. Anyway, going to switch it to the night mode, like, once again in Odyssey. Gonna break, or rather freeze everything over, not break the ice, but rather encase everything in ice. And then, as with Odyssey, we can drop into the middle. That will be the thing to do. A lot of opportunities here to grab coins as well. Nope, wanted to drop into that location. That could have gone a lot better. Oh wow, when you come in here at night, it kind of has a... Oh no, it's only a full reset because of the respawn at checkpoint that we saw earlier. Whoops. So not as significant a development as I thought here. But anyway, we'll drop into here, this location. It should hopefully be a mushroom. Yes, it is. Aha, and this is how we get down to the lowest level. Is there a lower level? Not that I can see just yet. But we also haven't been here. This is going to be new, and yeah, you do get an Odyssey moon at the end of this, unlike the stars and crowns that are in the standard game. And yeah, let's just let this bust open. Just gonna check down here to see if there are any bonuses worth mentioning. We'll just grab this and get out. So yeah, very fully developed Captain Toad level, actually. With optional objectives, oh, we did not get the gold mushroom, so I will need to come back in here to search for that. So gold mushroom placements are usually not too difficult to come by. It's probably just in a slot over here that I'm not paying attention to. But yeah, they're not usually too difficult to find. Often just placed in one spot that looks like it had collectibles for you, but doesn't necessarily. Okay, we're just going to skip right over. And then let's see what we can do. Okay. Everything's fine here. Let's just switch the Sand Kingdom into night mode. And then drop into this platform. Kind of wonder if dropping back onto it will do anything for me. Coins here. Whoops. Yeah, still... Oh, you know what? Let's think about this, because one thing I had not considered is how we get down to that passage. Okay, anyway, let's go up. And now that we're up here, we'll just try to wrap around once more. I do need to look around for the golden mushrooms, so let's not drop into the lower level just yet. Just scan around and see if we can find the location that I have not checked. Okay, nothing here, just a lot of turnips. Is there a location that we have not really thought about? I mean, this is probably the most conspicuous candidate down here, but I think that's actually part of the pattern that we encountered upon dropping into the lower level. Oops. Shot in the back, how very discourteous. And yeah, that's what this slot is for. It's for production. Yeah, using the platforms to actually block the build blasters. It's a pretty valuable tactic. Once again, though, I'm still missing where the mushroom could possibly go, and so this may not be what we're looking for. Might just be the wrong kind of story. Need a little bit of human interest, I guess. Although, I mean, all of this stuff is maker through and through. Now, what location have I not inspected? I could potentially yield something like a golden mushroom. We'll go check most everything here. Checked everything that's going to get on top of these platforms. Yeah, there's some location that I've not really thought about very carefully. Don't want to just grab the moon. This location, however, might be something. Nope, I checked it previously. It was nothing. Yeah, just wondering what I haven't seen. I mean, there's all the ice, for sure. Well, let's try to go for this anyway. Not quite what we're looking for just yet. Yeah, with the gold mushroom, it's usually just a matter of looking at the one secret-like spot that we haven't seen, like maybe something like down here where I'm pointing. That would make sense, actually, if we had some way to do drop on top of that. That's something to keep in mind up here. It's actually got a great deal of potential as the candidate location. And yeah. Immediately. Oops. A slip there. This is worth checking, of course. Still don't really understand this slot here, I guess. Oh, it's just as a safety zone where we need it, perhaps. Okay. I guess one thing that I haven't really looked at is whether the night theme actually does anything meaningful for the game state and the world state. Yeah, possibly we do need to just go back to source on this. Now, yeah, we'll just try to find some audience for that work. Yeah, I feel like it's one of the likelier slots. Down here. And yeah, not really seeing it just yet. Entirely possible that the golden mushroom comes out of one of these. Then I have to pop the brick. That would be unprecedented, given that usually you do have to just pluck it out of the ground, like in this location, I hope. And yeah, let's see what I can do to progress. I do need to. I'll probably do the full loop actually, unless I just have enough going on here. Oh no, I need to go around still. Okay, it's done here. And let's see how much of this we want to contest. As an accounting of the scene. I also noticed the writing credits down here, just checking to make sure there are no additional substitutions or anything that might impede our data accuracy. Oh! And yeah, looking at the insider finds there's of course still the onus on the player to find the play and make it, and be confident about making it in a well-judged spot. So yeah, we'll see if it's actually possible to drop in somewhere to drop it on that side, perhaps. Not really seeing it though. Okay. Now we'll move up. Whoops. Yeah, still just on the lookout for golden mushroom, which I think we need to switch into night mode, see if that changes anything. Maybe even give it a bit of visibility. Hard to tell though, I mean, always swing around back of the pyramid here. No, nothing. Nope, thought I was gonna hit. Not the case. Whoops. Getting a little bit clumsy here. Golden mushroom, where could it be? Checked a lot of places thoroughly. This place here to the right, I don't know if I can actually reach. So yeah, we'll eventually have to find that somehow. Now, obviously, the crown jewel of this purchase is just going to be one of the rocks we picked up over here. Let's just drop in this way. No, let's not. Go down. Anyway, don't mind taking a little bit of profit off that today. Let's see if we can figure out how that transition is going to happen. Still know almost nothing about their esports venture, for instance. Anyway, let's just do the climb and see if we can turn all the lights out. Yeah, once having turned the lights out, let's see what actually goes on there. Okay. Anyway, this is going to dump me back in the central area. I'm going to scope it out properly for once. No. Okay, so night mode. I mean, we might as well scan to see if maybe night mode reveals any particular glowing locations or changes anything else with the board state here. Doesn't really appear so. Let's try to think about any locations that we wouldn't have been able to go to previously, and that we're able to travel to now. Yeah, gonna be a bit of a tricky situation. Might have to just leave this objective, I think, and just play through the levels once before we go for that scale of completion. Yeah, it looks like the records have just not really been chased. Yeah, the glowing green, ready to go. Better to just sit on some oil, yeah. Sound advice. Oh, whoops. Bad timing. Nothing to reveal just yet. Kind of wondered, this notch on top here. That could be something, in fact. That's worth checking. Down with that. Nope, that's not going to be it. In fact, it's probably a squish death. If we, no, not a death, just push. Nothing honestly related down here. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, wait a minute. No. We checked that location long ago. Couldn't be that. Well, let's see if we can get back out somehow without too much of a hassle. I think it is going to be too much of a hassle. So yeah, maybe we should pull off this and go for the bonus objective at a different time. Let's at least look at each of the kingdoms. Or single pass first. Again, wasn't expecting nearly this elaborate a level. But if there actually were someplace to go for a collectible, where would it possibly be hiding? No real issues with this. Secret of the Inverted Pyramid. Maybe I should just go story order for some of the puzzles for now, just to see how they worked out. To do that, though, I think somebody has to take the hit here, and we'll just reset into this. Yeah, because this gets you to the halfway point. And yeah, that's gonna raise everything. Just wondering what else that operation does. It doesn't really do much else, actually. But we'll go down and we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I've got both of these diamonds in previous attempts. Let's see what else I can do here. I mean, can I smash the ice? No. That would have been something worth trying, of course. Yeah, I didn't quite manage to get this. May in fact be a wise thing to do to save this for now. Because what was I going for? I was trying to go for clicking on these. I can in fact click on these with a pointer. It's even easier. Now when you run over where the golden mushroom is supposed to be, the ground will glow at you. And that's one thing we haven't actually taken advantage of yet. I wonder about the slot to the left here. In the boutique trophy case. Okay. Not really seeing it. Let's take a look at the blasters here, see if there's anything worth manipulating with those. No, seems not. Now, if I do get back onto the moving platform sequence, what does that get me? Let's try to drop into that location once again. I think it is doable, just very tricky. I think I might need the BBC back for this one. Oops. And yeah, this is an interesting claim here about this one that seems to have been roped in like a prisoner of some sort. Whoops, not a turnip. No, I don't see the location. It can be a bit of a treasure hunt. So mostly I'm just trying to study the map to see if there's any really high quality looking location that we not set foot in at all. Been over to the tops of a couple of businesses and Twitch channels. But it won't be that. And yeah, that's probably going to be it for that. Might move on to the next one for now. Usually like to try to do every single one of these in sequence and have all objectives stamped. Let's get into the Cascade Kingdom though for Minecart Cascade Crusade. We'll just do the standard clears. Okay, interesting that for something that is original to the Switch port, there is this minecart concept. Given that it's already kind of a compromised UI on the Switch, given that the Wii U original would have this view and this view, depending on whether you were looking at the gamepad or not. So it did in fact render simultaneously. Let's put the images in the same environment here in Cascade. And I feel like there's definitely slots that we can fire into here too. Oops. There's probably going to be a coin collection requirement for the bonus objective here. I think it looks very much like coin collection will be what this is all about. Look at this massive pile over here. Gotta shoot it a few times. Yeah, it'll be some kind of absurdly high coin requirement, I'm sure. Wow, what a fantastic chain reaction. And it was not even over. Nope, just missed every shot. That was the right idea, though, trying to go for third diamond up there. And all the way down we go. Yeah, I missed a whole bunch of stuff, but there will be some kind of really high coin requirement, I'm sure. Like 300 or something. And also, we'll need to go back to collect the other gems. Is this a new Pokemon Snap? Yeah, it might as well be. Yeah, 320 coins, so we're not even close. Okay. We'll need to be a lot better about the coin collection, given that it was off by about 50. Also going to keep my eyes peeled for gem number 1. But it might be something that is tucked behind a waterfall, perhaps. Whoops. Oh, missed that completely. I know. There we go. It's inside the Triceratops nasal cavity. And yeah, just gonna go for this power here. Now each of these are gonna conceal even more coins behind them, so that's going to be one of the keys to making up the 50 coin deficit, just being able to take as much of this as I can. 35, nowhere close. We still need about 100, and having missed the POW shots at the very beginning, I think the chances are probably not that good. Yeah, 291. We'll need to fire a few times here to try to grab that. There we go. here in Splash Mountain? No. Okay, still a little bit off, and I know where I was off. And what kind of correction I should be making to make up the remaining deficit, so... Like I said, we did fail on the optional objective for the first level in this set, so... I'm not going to be terribly strict about getting them now. I mean, I have always completed everything, and so it feels kind of bad to skip any of these, but we'll just have to go back to it. Let's try to make a few more runs, though, just to see if we can make this happen. Yeah, it's just that the golden mushroom hunt in the first one might take a while. Because you do need to scrape the level quite carefully sometimes to find those locations. They're usually an interesting challenge. And that the golden mushroom almost works like a fourth of a gem in terms of where it does tend to show up. Okay, that's a significant gain over there. Let's knock at everything we can. Every coin's gonna count here, so let's leave none alive. Okay. Oh wow, that's a big miss. Yeah, this is not gonna go. We just missed far too much over there. We can see how close we get, but I think this is not going to be even close to a good attempt. Started out at 235-ish there. Yeah, that gives you about 60. Almost 50 to 60. Just by getting that shot in, so we're still way short. Anyway, that's gonna pop out. Yeah, still not quite where we need to be. Let's move on for the time being. I mean, I think we're close to getting it, but I do just want to at least see all 4 of these levels before anything else. So we're going to be in the Metro Kingdom next, in Uptown and Downtown. For such compact packages, I do like how much of the character of the respective Odyssey levels these actually manage to fit in, even from the way the entry point is on its own little tower. Oh, let's not get hammered. Like at the Odyssey work site. We can come over here. Oh, I recognize this building and this block. I don't remember if hammers will actually break this stuff. I don't think they will. Nope. No chance. Let's get in here first. Oh, it's the concert hall. Great. And Toadette's just kind of hanging around, too. With the rest of the brigade, which we have not yet rescued from the DLC finale earlier. Oops. Oh, there's a hammer just kind of standing in the way there. Didn't see him. Didn't even think to check for him. Anyway, gotta check everything here. Probably is a coin collection condition in this one as well, but no, we're not going to access all of it at once. All of the content available on this fine system. we'll just see what we can. Can you drive a car? No, unfortunately not. And what else can we do to navigate here? Probably just take advantage of the spot that is opened up. But with all the people moving on to the media side, there's a need for a certain amount of traditional reporting. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go directly across. Yeah, that works. This is going to remain in place. I'm not going to be acting like a prototype or anything, but... Oh, thought I could make that corner. You know what? We've already been up to that corner. Just no reason to do that. Whoops. Now, the collected gem is going to stay collected. I guess it is a diamond. Yeah, very elaborate kingdom, actually. Yeah, I'm going to recall the construction site. And whatever else we get to experience firsthand. Whoops. Oh, wow. Just slipping all over the place. Starting to lose touch here. So the objective will be to get something like the pickaxe that will get me past the hard block, blocking the gardens. And the gardens being the final location of the moon. Whoops. Alright, let's figure out how to walk in straight lines from time to time. That would be immensely helpful. Okay, up we go. And yeah, we'll move on back. Let the hammer get the hammers out of his system. As well as anything he'd like to say about the future of 3D Mario. Wow, I just keep missing that. Don't know why I'm slipping off constantly. Not a good angle. I need to fix the angle of my approach and then I should be okay. Okay, so this is really just a bit of a steering challenge. Steer well enough to actually make it through the Royal Navy. Okay, finally going to get in here. And that will allow me to drop in on this side. We only have one gem so far, which is kind of unusually low. We do finally unlock a passage, though. That will allow me to go down directly, which is going to be important as long as I don't get smacked by the hammer along the way. And yeah, changes, if any, will not take effect immediately. Otherwise, I would be concerned about the presence of the MGM library all over Criterion Channel. You know, relative to the Amazon buyout. Okay, so it's possible to drop in there. We can drop in from the ceiling, except I haven't been to the ceiling. Oh, gold mushroom over here, by the way. That's important to know. if we eventually have a way of getting over there at all, which honestly doesn't look like the case. Wow. Lots of stuff jumping around. Yeah, we'll try to clear in the gems here just to get everything sorted and close the book on this. Well, almost close the book on it. We still have optional objectives all over the place, of course. And back in we go. Yeah, zoomed out quite a bit actually right now. Anyway, so that's what the machine's going to tell us. Oh, thought I could drop in on that guy uninvited. Not quite best strategy, I guess. Can drop over here. A bit of a refresher, and also drop in down below, which does in fact take you to a really expansive zone. Yeah, this is significantly larger than pretty much any of the standard Captain Toad levels, in fact. This is not active at all, at least not right now. We'll see if some of that is activated once we power up. Oh, whoops, let's get out. I'm going to get rid of the creeper. And what have we got? Yeah. Whoops. No. I have to remember, probably just need to run corner to corner for this one, but really get over here. I think I need to drop in from up above. In fact, very clear that I need to do so. Exit strategy is unclear, though, in terms of how we get out of that. Curious. Anyway, let's just turn on the power, rather. Okay, everything's gonna get fired up. Let's actually drop into, whoops. Hoping to get to dropping them here. That's not the case. But yeah, built up a fairly extensive photo collection in this game back in the day, and not really showing off much of that side at all. Okay, got that guy. Okay, 2 down. And some coins up there we didn't get, but status symbol more than anything, I think. What did that tangibly get me? I'm trying to keep track of this, and I'm not exactly sure. Otherwise, been giving me access to 2 out of 3 things in the standardized screenwriting form that gets advocated for in streams like this. But yeah, we have some things that are powered up and moving. Will be up to me to take advantage of that. Okay. Let's see if we can get back into a decent position now that we have a bit of extra power to work with, moderation-wise. Whoops. Wow, it just slipped right off. Yeah, this platform over here is likely to take me up to the green pipe. That's what we want to do, is we want to reverse all the way over to the green pipe and then take it up. And it will have some effects, I'm sure, on how everything else is going to go. Let's see if we can get a drop in there. These two creepers just kind of hugging very closely, giving each other a little peck on the cheek. Now let's check up here. I haven't really done much here in the back position. Whoa, sniped. Alright, let's be a little bit more careful about spacing. I say as I nearly failed to not being careful about spacing. Yeah, there's some really extensive maps here. There's a huge difference from bonus maps in the original. Which were really treated like bonuses and not like the official content. Well, not official, I should say, but not quite like the mainline style of challenges. Okay. Up we go. And yeah, let's just get back in position here. Just going to use the pointer as a stun lock. Works surprisingly well. That's going to take me up. And that's going to give me access to that. As well as some of the scaffolding here on the left. Let's try to be careful and not slip. Of course, having everything powered up is now the major accomplishment. And so we'll see what to do. Okay, just gonna ride this out. Yeah, I can fall forward here. I mean, if I'm going for gems, which I am. Otherwise, whoa, no. Otherwise, I could have just fallen directly over to the moon. Luckily, we do have a bit of a midpoint here that has been created. I really do have a strong feeling that there will be a gem we can get to if we are careful about timing. Diamond, rather. Okay. these hammers are quite something to play against. Let's not get smacked. Now I'm in the building. Is that really it? Oh, that seems like a strange slot to just... that meager amount of collectibles? It can't be the case. Yeah, we can keep going. In fact, possible to shortcut then, maybe. No, because we didn't really have a way to get heights coming in here. So let's go back and see where we proceed. Okay, where'd we go? Nope. Terrible depth perception all over the place. Still need to look for the third gem, and then once we get that done, then yeah, let's take a shortcut. And I know how to drop onto the moon already. Could be that the third gem is in a garden somewhere, but usually you don't have objectives placed in that close together. And yeah. Okay, so let's just drop in. I'm missing one thing. We'll see what we can make that work somehow. Some of this was definitely meant to be played with the pickaxe. There we go. Especially the block here, that would have been very useful to begin with. Yeah, still missing one here. Defeated all enemies. Wow, that's a lot of creepers to get rid of. We'll need a couple of stomps, a couple of turnip tosses. I would at least like to go back for the gem. Like I said, we probably won't do all of the conditions on the stream. I want to run this and probably run the fourth one in the Odyssey set. Like I was saying, significantly bigger levels than I imagined these would be. And yeah, let's just check all of this. Hard for me to tell what could have been a missing spot. That's the third gem would be located in. Okay, where do we go? I'm glad the golden mushroom is not an issue this time, even though it is, of course, much easier to reach. Okay, dropping aside. Whoa, no. Be careful here. And think about where we could possibly go for the next gem. It might have been something downstairs. I'm trying to think about where the first two were located. And to reason my way to it accordingly. Okay. Bad idea. I wonder if there is the third one down here somewhere. Feels like we do need to activate power in order to say anything conclusive. And in the meantime, just keep in mind the capacity for destruction that we can unleash upon the creepers and who knows what else. Wow. Let's not just walk off the diagonal. Yeah, not the proudest session here. But yeah, I guess because Gem 2 is down here, Diamond 3 is not going to be that close to Diamond 2. So I feel like we definitely have more to look forward to when it comes to interfaces. A lot of things are not tuned for the expectation that we'll just dump an independent analysis on it. Okay. Let's go up. And head back to the main area to see perhaps if there's anything we critically overlooked. Wow, really do need to watch my timing there. Not going well at all. But yeah, we just need to fix some of that up. Okay. Everything there is going to run fairly well. Let's try to loop back around. Once again, priority is to find a third gem. And Nintendo is not just going to give that to me. Okay. Wait for the rotation. Wait for what was effectively a bit of a reset on the labor market for this sort of thing. Okay, let's grab this, move on up. Oh, that would have helped again earlier. I guess we have done the platform activations down below, but not much else that is useful. Okay. Let's see if we can make our way across without just spilling all over the place. Whoa, no. Not smacked. Once again. Yeah, that defeat all enemies condition is going to be quite something when it comes to dealing with the hammers as well. And yeah, just gotta stun everything out. Hopefully not trivializing it too much here. Nope, trying to drop on top of that guy, that did not go. Okay, let's try not to die to just walking off random diagonals, the way we've been doing. Taking a very unnecessary hit, though. It's okay, we'll just... nope. I was trying to rotate out of that and dodged a creeper. That was not the case. Anyway, back to having to reactivate the switch. Whoops. Not paying attention. Okay. This is a quick procedure, though. Okay, up and running. Generator is go. And yeah, let's just try to finally uncover what is hidden here. Okay. Yeah, definitely a connected storyline and cast of characters between a lot of those notable entries. Okay, all this has really contributed is to moving the platform. Other than that, not much has changed. Yeah. Just want to ride out as much as we can here as you go for the next moving building piece. Okay, good. Actually paying attention for once too. Where we're located. Notice the stairs that are on top. Leading their way through this tower. So yeah, that is going to be the third gem, and nice view, actually. I'm just going to jump this. And okay, that's going to be it for that. If I make my way back up, so much for that. Welcome, Electro Dude. Yeah, Electro Dude, this has not been a very successful session. Partly it's because I think I'm just extremely tired, and streaming may have not been the best idea today. But yeah, it started out with trying to do the bonus challenge that was at the end of the previous stream, and spent about an hour and a half and nearly 2 hours in that, and did not even come close. We got to about the 2/3 mark, and that was about as well as I could do. And then, so now I'm seeing some of the Odyssey content for the first time, which is great, by the way. These are some really interesting levels, some of the most interesting in the game. And I've taken an unusual number of deaths to just walking off various corners, which, you know, is a sign that maybe things are not going that well. Also missing a lot of optional objectives here too, which I've usually never had a problem with. So we could be playing much better. I mean, I know it's kind of streaming this as a side game to begin with. We might have to do at least one more Captain Toad stream, possibly two, just to clean up some of this stuff. But I did at the very least want to show off these Odyssey levels for the first time, since I Had not seen them before myself. Yeah, some unexpected checkpoint placement in this stuff sometimes, but that's what happens when I'm actually dying for once. Okay, one more to go. So yeah, nowhere close to getting the optional objective. I will want to come back for that. I really do need to think about the gold mushroom. This was something that I got stuck on. This one, I was about 20 off, 23 off. This, I mean, taking out the hammers and the creepers will require some kind of plan that I haven't made just yet. Let's take a look at the fourth of the set. This is Kukatil's Sizzling Sprint. Looks like it's going to be more dash panel madness. This time set in the Luncheon Kingdom, which last stream I just could not remember the name of the Luncheon Kingdom, and I think I referred to it as like the Kitchen Kingdom or something, but no, it is the Luncheon Kingdom, and we're going to have a bit of a cookout. Luncheon Kingdom looking spectacular as always for something that is essentially a lava world. Most aesthetically interesting lava world in the Mario series, I think. Wait, there's going to be a little bit of a split here. I think there's probably going to be some kind of condition to get coins. Ah, no, the condition is probably just going to be survive with everybody remaining. You know, survive with 4. Here, we're going to be lucky to survive with 2. Okay, not sure what that was doing. Being funneled through. Okay, now everybody's dead except 1. Let's actually manipulate the camera for once instead of just depending so heavily on automation to do stuff before I've seen it. Okay, pipe is going to be ridden all the way there, and we're already at the moon. I missed a lot of stuff that I completely missed out about gems, diamonds 2 and 3. So we'll go back and we'll at least do that, even if I don't get the checklist objective, which I assume is actually going to be survive with everybody. Yeah, cleared course with 4 toads. So yeah, this is legitimate post-game content. It's the kind of thing that was missing in the original release. Post-game content that really pushed the mechanics a bit. Also pushed away planning around those mechanics. Okay. Oh no, lost one. And yeah, we won't get the bonus objective, but I'm trying to find out where any of the gems are, and we have just barely seen them. Makes a 3D world in Odyssey is extremely neat, yeah. As I was saying a little earlier on before you came in, it's really interesting actually how much these levels capture the flavor of the Odyssey Kingdoms, despite being really compact. Okay, missing everything here. I was hoping to get the split there. For now, though, I'm just trying to look at where the diamonds 2 and 3 are going to be. And that it seems as though I just didn't see them. Whoops, let's not go back. We do need to go forward. Yeah, nothing back here that I can tell. Oh, just some coins. We'll grab them. So yeah, we'll want to keep my eyes peeled for... It was 2 and 3. Gem 1 was... Who even was it? Here. Right. We got that one previously. And up we go. Nope. Everything got smacked. Nope. That's okay, might as well just ride this out, see what we can do here. Again, I missed everything. I mean, this is already the ending. I just didn't see the diamonds come up at all. Unless diamond 3 is here somewhere. Let's actually check this lower location. Not the moon yet. Let's jump down here. Just coins. And okay, let's get it once again, except I just need to go back in and keep my eyes peeled because I have not seen the location of 2 and 3 at all. Hitting multiple P-switches at once, I think that's likely given that the first one was also activated by P-switch. That we need to get the splits more accurately. Yeah, it would make sense that the reason we haven't seen them is just because I've not been keeping the toads alive and also not doing the splits the way I should be. Okay, as you can see here, nope, we just lost everything there. Yeah, hitting 3 Ps there might be the solution here. And hitting 2 Ps over here. We need to survive up to that point. Okay. Let's try it again. Yeah, pretty interesting now. Anyway, okay, actually didn't get nuked for once. No, missed that P, but that's okay. We got that one already, so. Let's crumple in here. Hey, actually surviving with 4 so far. No, not anymore. Okay, we actually got one. Here we go. Let's get the split. Keep 2 alive. Nope. Yeah, we do need to keep 2 alive going into this part, so we'll just do it until we've got it. But yeah, all of the optional checklist achievements are actually much harder than they are in the standard game, I think. And because there are a couple of double cherry levels in the original levels that require you to keep everybody, this one seems to have the most incoming damage though. Like, these really do feel like proper post-game levels. A very refreshing change, in fact, from the original 3D levels. The 3D world levels, rather, in the Wii U release, which were not really proper levels. They were just kind of a cosmetic reference. But here we actually have a meaningful expansion of the game. 4 really substantial maps, each of which plays to a different strength of Captain Toad design. Whoops, nope, losing too much. Let's not drop quite so many. Okay. Whoa, couldn't quite see what was going on there, but we're alive. Barely, but we're alive. Whoops. Yeah, there are a couple of awkward situations here where I don't want to run myself off the edge. Or run my clones off the edge, but where that's really difficult to control in some ways. Just not getting good positions on them at all. I'm not going to keep the cluster together early on, in fact, so they don't get split all over the place until it's necessary. If I keep the cluster together, then I can actually dodge things at once. That's a much better strategy. If I don't need to split, I should not split. Yeah, this is going a lot better. It would be really quite difficult to get all of the gems at once, though, in a single run. Nope. Getting healed off here. Whoa, not quite. Now, it does keep the gem collection after you get it, even if you die immediately, which is, as usual, not a decision I really agree with. I think you don't need to be that forgiving if you want to confirm a player is actually doing a task instead of just taking a dive into it. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I'm glad I did manage to get it. I'll probably just make an attempt at it again just to feel like I'm playing fair and demonstrate my ability to keep the toads alive. Nope. Never mind. That's fine, we'll just get to clear. Okay, one moment. I will need to finish up fairly quickly, I think. End stream in just a few minutes. Give me one moment, please. Okay, so probably going to finish at this point. There's a lot that I was hoping to get done that we couldn't get to. I mean, all 4 of the optional objectives in the Odyssey levels here, as well as the thing that we started out with at the beginning of this stream, which is this thing here, where clearing with all the brigade is something that we have not come anywhere close to doing. Just fell shy of the 2/3 mark every time, with the best run so far being a 19 out of 30 in terms of keeping the whole toad train. So that is enough content to really keep us going for another Captain Toad stream sometime in the near future. I was hoping to finish much earlier than that, but in the meantime, we will be back to Mario Maker for this weekend. And yeah, we'll find some additional schedule to try to do some of the harder content here. Some of this stuff is actually pretty tough so far. Eventually, I do want to work my way over to unlocking Mummy Me Maze Forever, which is the original end level, and which, like Champions Road, which we did in 3D World last month, is going to take probably a whole stream to itself as well, given how challenging it actually is, but I'd like to get that in video eventually. So that is going to be it for this stream. Stay tuned for Mario Maker this weekend, and also a small-sized micro raid of somebody else imminently. So we'll close the book on this for now, and yeah, Meng's been around, Electric Dude. Meng's been around for much of the stream, in fact, just kind of lurking on and off, so yeah, keeping this session a little shorter than usual, but that's, I think, a good place to end for now. Really kind of sloppy play all over the place, but, you know, that's something we can work on. So thanks so much for watching. I'll be looking for somebody to pass you off to in just a moment, but for the time being, to have a good night, good morning, etc. And that's it for me, so fare thee well.